Hi, hello, welcome to the Oracle Consularship brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Blosi. I'll be your Oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for a channeled reading. It's a little bit open because I have an inkling of what we're going to talk about. So, open, channeled reading, kind of, sort of, pseudo, not really. Kinda, sorta, pseudo, not really. So we'll see what this is for real. But we are deliberating, imposing the guidance from This Might Hurt Tarot. That's by Isabella Rotman over at Liminal 11 Publishing. We'll also deliberate the findings for any type of pairings. It's a double this, a pair of this, a triple that, set of this, from the Minor Arcana from Cosmic Coven Tarot. That's by Lillian Lazenby over at Ripe Avocado. And if there's any corresponding or correlative energy, we'll be using the Vita Sibilla from Los Garabello to deliberate, as I said, the corresponding correlative energies. So I'm getting this song again. It's called Seduction by Ursher. I call him Ursher, not Usher. And, you know, there's been a cascading wall of energies coming through, and I'm trying to clear the parking lot so I could do other things. Let's see here. So we're having a glow up, or our energy has broken up, broken free. Also, we have this stratification. Okay, so this is an open reading because I already know what the channel is. So we're having a little bit of a stratification, meaning our energy is a little bit higher, our vibe is a little bit higher, our frequency is a little bit higher than it has been generally. So if we were dealing with some kind of common, petty, basic, ordinary energy before, it can't really get to us right now. It can't really pull through, come through, make it in. It's in this energy where it needs to get to a higher vibration. It can't quite catch up. So in a sense, we're breaking up, breaking free, moving on, moving forward, leaving something behind, if that makes any. And then in addition, this is an energy, okay, so it's going to be two things here. This is an energy that uses seduction. They're used to having people fawn all over them. They're not used to having people say no, or not like them, not want them, not be about them. So when somebody walks on by, when somebody makes it out of the little energy, the little, the riz, the charisma, they don't know what to do. So they might be oscillating, ruminating, vacillating, and hate, marinating in venom. They might be ruminating about, their perfectly curated narrative, their sense of self, their fragile, whatever, ego, whatever. And we're coming into some type of windfall. Also, we might be an Aries, and I'm saying like Aries in terms of spiritual endowment, a celestial inheritance. And I mix those words intentionally because it hasn't anchored into the physical. It's about you. So our spiritual inheritance is about to pop because our celestial endowment is overflowing, because we're in alignment. Maybe not 100% on our life path, spirit, karma, destiny, but there's something quickening in our energy. It could be God is vectoring. It could be that all of the encumbrances have been removed. It can also be that we're just handling our life properly in terms of like being devout, being aligned, being obedient to the calling in our life, or maybe to spirit, source, creator, God, however we orient and access that technology, take it as it resonates. There's something going on where this energy, entity, ideology that was belittling and belaboring and beleaguering us before, it's been handled in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. At the very least, it can't get to us. Its energy is kind of sealed out. I'm rubber, you're glue, whatever you say about stuff, I mean, goes back to you. So also, they might be stuck in it because it's up, then it's stuck. Okay, we're gonna lay 4 cards. That'll be the overall core, crystallized, concrete energy as we gather here today for the Oracle Consularship for this open reading. It's the Six of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Ace of Cups, Three of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Three of Wands, Six of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Three of Wands. So if you're new, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. You belong. So welcome home. It's a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you for allowing me to do so. You can always increase the speed, which is the playback of the video. Sometimes it goes a little long, sometimes it's a little bit too slow. There are sometimes pauses. I may hear a narrative or two. So just, it's like a gear symbol somewhere on the video. You'll need to click through sometimes to the video or whatever platform you're on in order to increase the playback speed. And the same goes for the about section or the show notes or the description box, because usually, not always, but usually in the show notes, there's like these Hamza hands. And if you click the link, there'll be some kind of summary, okay? Usually, but not always, okay? So the Three and the Eight of Wands is interesting because it means that there may be an onslaught of energy being projected our way, but it's coming to our favor. And it's also a blockage if there was other energy. It's not happening. Like somebody else's energy isn't getting in. This is a very key core crystallized component of our energy being locked in for ourselves. There's no leakage here, at least for the time being, with this Eight of Wands, Three of Wands. But the Six of Pentacles, and I just heard the word pentacles. I love hearing that word. I don't know. It always makes me giggle. Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles here, say denari. This is, okay, six receiving, pentacles receiving favor. It also could be some kind of equally beneficial nourishing energy exchange. Now, if we're dealing with another person, it could be anything, anywhere on the spectrum. It could be that they are providing a solution to something that was previously asked for, previously petitioned. It also could be that something is flowing. We could have provided some service and we're getting paid righteously or just, but also it could be in the negative. It could be like breadcrumbing, drip, drip, drop, drop. It's called intermittent feedback. Eight of Wands is something speeding up, becoming swift, increasing, quickening. It also is, like I say, a goddess vectoring card. So literally is when things begin to manifest into the physical because the energy's been built up or pent up in the background. Ace of Cups is the promise of our heart's desires manifesting. It also is a gift from the divine, usually a spiritual gift. It can be the heart opening, and if we're dealing with another person, especially feminine energy, this could be female ecstasy, but it's an offer of love. And then the Three of Wands, ships coming in. It's also an open road. It's franchise purchase. Okay. It's conjuring something in, calling something in. Four of Swords, Nine of Swords. Yeah, some energy externally is being blocked. Because the Eight of Wands, Nine of Swords, something's being blocked. And over the last couple few weeks, especially 2 weeks leading on up, and yeah, so over the last week or so, something that was being projected our way is not working no more. We have this Four of Swords energy here on our side. That's not true, but that's how it came through. So we have an energetic barrier because there's a lot of different intentions on how to get in, how to get energy to us, how to bring us down a peg or notch, or how to find like a loose thread and have it unravel. And so we're going to see, even it's already started, more backfires are on the way, and these are not our backfires. Emperor, Three of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, Two of Pentacles. Yeah, over the last 2 months, something's been really attending to whatever they got going on. And really, right now, who we used to be was getting something out. It was enjoying that timeline that it was in. But the timeline is shifting and changing. We're migrating. And on our end, we're interceding, there's intercession on our behalf. So everything we deal with, we take to the divine. Everything we deal with, we take to divination. And it's not really working. Anything that's not in alignment with our path, anything that's not in alignment with our calling, it's not really working. There's some type of co-creation, collaboration, co-creation, or some type of planning here, Three of Pentacles. And it's all towards our self-mastery, self-governance, Emperor card. It could also be system structures, foundations, Emperor card. We have some type of absolute authority, Ace of Swords with the Emperor. Also, somebody here could have their Mercury in the 7th house. They could have their South Node in Libra, which would mean their North Node in Aries. Also, it could be, so it's something here about the South Node where we used to try to make it work with other energies or other entities. We used to try to, get along, to go along, or whatever, or what have you, so on and so forth. And right now we're fine. We're fine being the villain in somebody's story. We're fine letting somebody down. We're not going to make ourselves particularly more palatable for somebody else. We don't care about making them more comfortable. And we don't care about their feelings. And I'm not saying like we're thumbing our nose at them, dismissing their feelings entirely. They're fine to have their experience. They're fine to have their feelings. We'll validate whatever we can. It doesn't mean, however, that we care about them. We're doing our energy. We're doing our thing. And if somebody feels some kind of way about that, that's on them and themselves. If somebody doesn't like that for us, that's them and their problem. It's not ours. And, feelings inform your experience. Your experience lets you know if you get your needs met or not. Getting your needs met or not informs your boundaries. And it's not like we won't change our behavior. It's not like we want to keep on hurting somebody's feelings. But if we're making a choice for us, if we're navigating our own life, if we're on our own side of the road and somebody feels some kind of way, we might not be available for that. It's an enlightened, healed kind of aspect. When somebody hears, oh, we don't care about your feelings, they immediately take that to be, oh, there's something wrong with you. Really, no, what we're saying is we're not going to be performative or contrived. We're not going to do the respectability politics. We're not going to do this individuality shaming, this concern trolling, this compassion baiting, this virtue signaling, this tone policing. We're not going to care. If you got a problem, that's you and your problem. I'm going to leave that to you and yourself. That's our motto. Because we're over here handling up on vitality, enlightenment, reinvigoration, remuneration. We're healing. Our soul is starting to dance inside of our body. Our spirit is breaking out, breaking free. And to sit there and let another person emotionally vomit all over us, and people sensitive ears get easily offended. We're letting people walk and lean into their healing journey. And if somebody says, hey, my boundaries are not being respected, my standards are not being met, that's completely different than, hey, I witnessed something, or I overheard you say something, and I feel some kind of way about it. Those are two, it could be the same event and two completely different responses, reactions. When a person's done their work and they've self-reflected, they're able to say, here are my needs, here are my boundaries, here are my standards. This is what I'm wanting, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I'm needing. And it's constructive, it's cogent, it's salient, it's germane, it's substantive to the matter at hand. And it's a relative matter as well. It's not this objective figment floating up in the ethers. And the more simple it is, or the more clean it is, it doesn't require a long explanation either. I'm getting that all from the Three of Pentacles and the Emperor. We are working through all of the BS, all of the mess, all of the crazy, la loca, delulu, stupid, the dumb. We're getting rid of it all. Hangman, Eight of Swords. Yeah, because we're 10 of Cups in the Judgment card. Yeah, so we really are interceding. We're doing intercession. Yeah, so there's this energy that just wants to be around us because we're the source to the divine. We are the Holy Grail. Our soul has access to the eternal kingdom. And binding itself to us would be most beneficial for them to get or ride the coattails into the higher realms. And there's this energy here that probably feels like it's being left behind. Did I say Hangman, Eight of Swords, Ten of Cups, Judgment? It's almost as if it feels like something doesn't want it. But really what we're doing is we're choosing ourselves. And we're not being guilted, we're not being belittled, we're not being berated, we're not being bullied into participating somewhere where we don't want to. And we keep getting twos and threes. We got the Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Two of Wands, Three of Wands. We keep getting twos and threes. So it's like we can work on something together, but you got to work on your own thing and I got to work on my own thing. What does that mean? What does that look like, Priestess of Losi? It's fine if we get in a relationship. It's fine if we even get married. But you work on yourself. I'll work on myself. When we come together, we work on the relationship. You can have a problem with me, but you know what your needs are. And you don't come over here saying, you're this and you're that, and this is how you think, and this is how you feel. No. Experience this, it led to this disposition, and after processing, going forward, this is what I need. It's elevation. We don't co-regulate unless we experience the trauma together. And even then, there's always some type of permission. Because when we have a problem with somebody, either we're trying to be right or we're trying to be well. Meaning if you prioritize the problem over you prioritizing the relationship, something's gonna unravel. You don't work on the other person, you work on the relationship and you work on yourself. So there's that element here, and that seems to be what the only thing we're available for. Because this is energy that's been building up in the background for months, 2 to 3 months at least. Because really, we're about to come around chosen people that really belong in our life. But in order for that to happen, we've got to purge the toxic people that don't really belong there. Wheel of Fortune, Three of Cups, Two of Cups, Moon, Seven of Cups, Ten of Swords. So we're leaving this favor, moving into vectoring. Things are speeding up. We have the Moon card and a pair of eights here. So there may be some kind of spell work, witchcraft, and we have a triple two and a triple three as well. So there is vectoring here. There also is some kind of third party. There's clicks, covens, cabals, and some kind of third party energy. Now, we don't have a Three of Swords, so it could be something other than a third party energy as well. But it would mean planning and agreements and la-di-da and yada-yada. So it seemed like there's been multiple attempts to do something and it doubled down. We do have 1-7. It's the Seven of Cups. We do have a pair of aces. We have a pair of tens. We have a triple three, a triple two. We have a pair of eights. So I want to check this Wheel of Fortune and the Judgment card because that talks about some type of prophecy. But Ten of Swords, that's an ordeal ending. The end of a very difficult cycle with the Wheel of Fortune is confirmed. But the Wheel of Fortune, Moon, and the Ten of Swords can mean that on our end, it's the Wheel of Fortune. On the opposing end, it's the Wheel of Karma. Somebody's going to have to face something as what it is. And everything is beautiful how it looks, but it's some kind of projection or facade. That things are hunky-dory, that nothing's wrong. And it isn't ultimately, it just took someone a while to mature, to level up, handle up, boss up. And it's really quite beautiful, spot on, that there's hope and everything. It's just that who we were when we got into this connection is not who we are as we're leaving. And it's not necessarily about a connection. There's no other person on this other side. What it's showing is a former aspect of ourselves. Now that we know, we can never unknow. And so we're going to conduct ourselves differently. We're going to move a little different. And that's going to run into problems and issues because there's changes, but nobody really knows why or what these changes are. That means they don't know really how or what to do with such changes. So this breakthrough after breakdown, Ten of Swords means there's a light dawning here. We have a light at the end of the tunnel. Ten of Swords in the moon or devil, I mean, it's Ten of Swords in the moon or death with the moon means light at the end of the tunnel. Some illusion or mystery gets dispelled. Ten of Swords in the moon card here. And then we have the Seven of Cups saying like it was some type of facade or glamour or mirror magic. Something here was a facade, an illusion. Something we were unhealed, unawakened, because we were just around in an environment surrounding location, Three of Cups, and we were bonded, yoked to people that really weren't 100% for whatever we needed. People are who they are, they move how they move. Sometimes we need to move out of their way. So for things to speed up, we needed to attend to a situation. Two of Pentacles, Judgment card. We had to have some kind of awakening, an epiphany here. And to make a final decision, Judgment card. It did happen, but for a while we were second guessing, or for a while there were standards and boundaries here. Some type of rule, regulation, restriction, Eight of Swords. Something had to be wrangled down or restrained. Eight of Swords. It did happen. We had to heal to some type of, and it wasn't an indictment where we're not found guilty here. There's no denying. Oh, there is. Ooh. Hold on. We're coming out of the darkness because we were doing something a little bit wrong. And honestly, it wasn't a bad thing, but we weren't handling up and we were getting more gifts and more privileges for this thing we were supposed to know better. We have the 8, 9, and 10 of Swords with the Judgment card. That means the universe found us guilty of something, but it was the most kindest thing that they did. All they did was slow down our blessings. They didn't punish us. They didn't, open up a can of whoop that ass. They didn't do none of that. But we might have went through some confusing times. Eight of Swords. A lot of things probably weren't working out, especially in relationship to love or union. Because that's what's happening after this awakening. Judgment card. This revelation. Judgment card. After we start attending to certain things. Two of Pentacles. One thing also led to another. So we might have been trying to solve something, but the thing we needed to work on and the thing we needed to solve was ourselves. Let's clarify some of these. So we talked about whatever the prophecy was. I don't remember what we said, but the Judgment and the Sun card means conflict resolution. Allegrezza al cuore. So maybe the joy of the heart or something like that. Because something was hiding in plain sight. It could have been a collective or a cabal or something. I actually have a feeling like we were getting guidance from the spiritual realm but we were focused on something in the physical that we really didn't need to be worried about or handling up on. And once that kind of shifted, because it kept getting more and more and more difficult, things started to move. We have the sun and the moon here, so that's a mystery revealed. Yeah, so we needed to be going towards love, essentially, is what this is saying, or something new. So we had the keys to the kingdom and we needed to work on it. We hadn't put enough work into something that was already a gift. It's almost like we suspended our journey midway, and the journey was towards the life we would have built out of our spiritual gifts. And we did something more safe. But we needed to attend to the calling on our life because we weren't. We were distracted with something else. And we wanted to know why things weren't going the way they were supposed to. And we finally got that message that there was something else that was always there that we needed to focus on, or things were going to continue to be stuck. We weren't going to get any of those extra fine blessings that we needed to without it. We have a position of authority here in the divine kingdom. We're some type of celestial adjudicator. We're basically like a judge for the divine. I don't know what, and it could be different departments. There's different kinds of judges as well, but that's what this is saying. Four swords in the hangman. That typically means soul respite, or we have some type of docket where God gives us work to do. Yeah, it literally is. It is a court docket. Look at that. So it's the wrong positioning here, but good things come to us from the divine for us to handle, and they're things that are pressing. So this is starting to make sense now. Was there anything else? Yeah, I want to know what this 8, 9, 10 of swords is, because that's 8 is being arrested, 9 is being found guilty, 10 is being sentenced. The divine needed us to come back home. We got recalled. There are 8 of wands here. That makes sense. With the 6 of pentacles, we got recalled. They're saying that whatever we were doing, the time was up on that, and now it's time to go back. And the thing we're going back to is whatever our path was. It's a timing thing. The wheel of fortune is here. Many people don't realize that the wheel of fortune is here. Okay. Yeah. There was something else that needed our attention that was ready to be worked on. Okay, so I understood all that, but I want to know what this judgment and the hangman is, because they're both knighting the 2 of wands. We're being monitored all the time, but it's because of the calling on our life. There's some type of come up, and we have a lot of blessings in our hand to mentor and to nourish into or nurture into some kind of big, brighter, better, greater. So let's check out this combinatory. Let's check out this pair of tens, 10 of swords, 10 of cups. That means the culmination, the cycle's ending, especially with this wheel of fortune. And it's delayed. This fell out face down, I believe. So the message came in late that it's time to end. The thing that we've been working on is evolving and growing, because we have a spot that we're supposed to be sitting in. 4 of wands. It's a pulpit or a throne or a platform, a place where we're celebrated as a divine being. That's what the 4 of wands is. Now, the 4 of swords also talks about some type of court. We're holding court in some type of way. And that's the thing we need to put our energy and effort into, 9 of wands. That'll manifest a lot for us. Three of Wands. We have the Seven of Cups, Knight of Pentacles. We've been trapped in illusion for a while. What is this triple two? There were efforts to get us to. So we had a union that was beginning to expand, which meant we were recalled. We needed to go back home. Essentially, something was over or canceled. And it's a blessing, but it might not have seemed like it. It might have been scary, or we might not have been as excited about detaching and going back home after a withdrawal as we should have. And home is divine service. Maybe we were somewhere in the secular world and we needed to return to the spiritual world. And it's true, because we had a lot of energy and effort to put into something. We were hoping to work something out, make it work for us. And we got told no, but we might not have recognized it as such. Yeah, because we had a job we might not have been as excited about, or we actually might have just looked at it like, oh yeah, I could do that already. Let me go do something that I haven't yet mastered. And they're like, no, lean into your mastery. That's where all your manifestation is going to come from. Three, we have a triple three here. So a triple three is clicks, covers, cabals. They were going to drip, drip, drop, drop, breadcrumb us until we came back. That we were chosen for something. We're the golden child. Page of Wands, we're the golden child, and we're chosen. You needed to really quickly go towards that thing, because that was going to manifest. We were going to lose out on some manifestation opportunities. Now we have a pair of aces here. Yeah, so these things, these gifts, the favor that we were going to receive was not going to come from anywhere other than whatever the calling on our life was. We needed to go back to where we could hold high ground, because we went somewhere where we weren't going to have any traction. We have a pair of aces here, so that's usually union, communion, partnership. It could be union with the divine. Yeah, wordless here. Words are jumbled, or words were left unsaid, unable to speak and unwilling to say the truth. Too much in their head and is unable to express their emotions rationally. Future focus, courage, gluttonous gossip. They're all upright, magical muse. So if we're dealing with another party, they don't know how to take what we're doing. It could be because they're low vibrational, or because they're fearful, or because they go along with everybody else. Unable to control and has an overwhelming need to share false or misleading information, overindulging or overconsumption of personal narratives that may or may not be true. Because in the higher realm, we're supposed to take courage, or if there is a third party, they're the strong one, and so they're kind of saying, do this, do that, simply because it's solution oriented. But when you're listening to a person, they might be trying to vent. You need to ask them, hey, do you want a solution or do you want support? Because the answer is not always the solution. Sometimes the answer is just to listen to another person and what they're saying and validate what they're saying. Because Magic and Muse here, this would mean there's two cards in the deck, which mean we're unfathomable. So this is one of them. Magic and Muse, a great source of artistic inspiration and beyond. We may not have a clarity about how they feel about us, but there's future focus here. They're hopeful that there'll be a better future, but that could also be our self. Like, if there is not another person, our future is much bigger than we thought right now, and we were working towards something that got stifled, and we went somewhere safer, or we started a narrative where we got stuck in it. Maybe we went and took a job instead of opening up a business. Maybe we were playing it safe instead of taking some type of risk. And now it's time. Eight of Wands with the Wheel of Fortune. Now it's time to grab the bird by the horns, grab the thing by the reins, and let it rip, let it fly. It's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me to do so. If anything that was said resonates deeply with Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. A quick prayer, dear, for all those still lost out there to illusion, delusion, confusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine unconditional love and universal oneness. And the we love you. We're sorry. Please forgive us. Thank you. We command that our steps be ordered, our path be illuminated, and that we find redemption and salvation in this life. May we be happy, may we be whole, may we be at peace, may we receive everything we ever wanted, starting with what we deserve. Until we meet again, until we read again, namaste and ashe. Sayonara, das vidanya, Take care, dear. Bye-bye.